Hi everyone, welcome to Itsy Bitsy's live read from King and Hunt by Brienne Dubh. Chapter 1, The Red King. Hell fucking no, Gabby screeched as she peered into the private function room of the hotel bar. Why didn't you tell me he was coming? The man who caught her eye stood a hulking 6'4", Christian Hunt. Saying that she could not stand him was an understatement. Gabriella King hated Christian, and it was widely known amongst their friends that the feeling was mutual. I didn't know. I only found out he was back an hour ago. Amy soothed as she tried to dodge past her and open the door. Gabby stood her ground, holding her back. While she looked dainty in her strapless navy blue swing dress and a pair of red heels, which gave her some height, not enough stature to revive her taller friend. Her curvy frame was like a rock blocking the doorway. So why didn't you tell me that an hour ago? She fumed through her clenched teeth, dancing left and right as she blocked Amy's arm from the door handle. Because I knew you would find some excuse to not come if I did. Damn right I would have. Gabby, you are my best friend. I need you here. Can you please find it in your heart to get along with him? Just for one weekend? Absolutely not. Please, you know I love you like a sister. I can't do this without you. No. Please, I'll do anything. I'll even give you that black and green dress you like, the one I bought in Spain, Amy coaxed. You know I can never fit my boobs into that dress. Okay, I'll cook for you. Next weekend, I'll make those pancakes you like. Gabby paused at the offer. The ones with chocolate chip sauce on top? Yes. Gabby took a moment to think. Amy's uncle was a chef who owned one of the top restaurants in California that even had a Michelin star. Loving Amy like a daughter, he'd taught her how to cook. Everything she made was mouth-watering delicious. She was good enough to open her own restaurant if she wanted to. Every time she came back from visiting her uncle, she was bombarded with requests to cook the new dishes she'd learned. It was too good an offer to pass up. I also want the spicy prawn and rice thing. Amy nodded fervently. I'll make you anything you want if you just go in there and promise to try to be polite. I'm not promising anything, Amy. Your brother is a dick. Why couldn't he just Skype you again? You know turning 30 is a big deal. He might have missed last year, but he wasn't going to let me out to go through this one alone. You've got to give him some credit for making the effort. Gabby huffed and puffed for a while before relenting. You will cook all my food for a week, she ordered. Done. Just go in there with me. She sighed. Fine. I'll try not to cause any shit, but if he starts anything, I'm finishing it. I get it. I just hate that you guys hate each other so much. I'm sorry, but I tried. Some people just aren't meant to get along. But I guess since you will be cooking all my meals for the next week... Gabby paused for a beat, raising her eyebrow in a silent challenge to make sure Amy wouldn't argue. And since it's your birthday, I'll do my best to be civil. Amy breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, darling. Yeah, whatever, she grumbled. They embraced each other quickly before Gabby finally stepped out of the way so Amy could open the door. They stepped into the room to a chorus of cheers, and Amy was quickly pulled from one person to the next, receiving kisses left and right. When they eventually made it to their table at the front of the room, Christian enveloped Amy in a bear hug. Gabby watched impassively as he took Amy's face in his hands and studied her closely. She glanced around at the men in the room and back at Christian. She could tell the other men made an effort to dress up by their crisp shirts and styled hair. Christian, on the other hand, simply wore his trademark black shit-kicker boots and black jeans with a long silver chain that disappeared into his back pocket. She had to give him his dues for exchanging the usual t-shirt for an actual shirt, though it was still black. His dark brown wavy hair had grown since the last time she saw him, and now hung past his shoulders. Judging by the beard he now sported, his face hadn't seen a razor in months. She had to admit, it suited him. He looked good in a wild sort of way. Gabby could see the love he had for Amy written all over his face as he smiled down at her, kissing the top of her head before hugging her once more. Though tall, Amy was still much shorter than Christian, with her slim build accentuated by a black figure-hugging dress and her long, dark hair pulled into a high ponytail. She looked elegant, especially next to him. "Hey, little sis. Big bro. I missed you. Happy birthday, Ames." "Happy birthday, Christian." Born 6 minutes apart, Amy was the elder of the twins. However, she'd always called him Big Bro due to his height and size in return. He called his sister Little. Lost in the moment, she smiled subconsciously. That was when Christian looked up, his piercing hazel green eyes locking onto hers, and his smile disappeared instantly and was replaced by a frown. "I see you're still hanging out with Gobby." His voice was loud enough for those around them to hear. His deep voice gave most women goosebumps, but as usual, his words only served to raise her hackles. She hated the nickname, but refused to give him the satisfaction of correcting him yet again. "Hunt," Gabby greeted briskly. It was clear by her tone he meant Hunt with AC. "You promised," Amy warned. "What?" Gabby asked innocently. "Happy birthday, Hunt." "Thanks, Gabby." Kirsten smiled at the twitch above her right eye, knowing he had scored another blow. He hated the way she had called him Hunt. Everyone knew what she was really calling him. That bugged him the most was that over the years she had somehow managed to make him hate his own last name. He couldn't stand Gabriella King. The mouthy woman never failed to rub him the wrong way, but sadly she was his sister's best friend. If things had been different, he definitely would have let her rub him the right way. Gabriella had always been annoyingly sexy, but unfortunately, that was always outweighed by her being way too fucking annoying. When he had first accidentally called her Gabby, way back when they were in college, the name seemed to fit perfectly. It was made sweeter knowing how much she hated it. Funnily enough, she had a sensual mouth that always drew his attention and gave all men dirty thoughts. But regrettably, when she opened it, what came out was always guaranteed to piss him off. Even though he promised Amy to be on his best behavior, he knew he would take any opportunity that presented itself to piss the woman off. "What happened to your hair? Lost a bet?" He gave her a shy grin. Gabby instantly smoothed both hands over her straight hair. Previously a light brown reaching just above her backside, it was now a short in the back, long bob, slightly above her shoulders in the front. She had also dyed it a post-box red. She adored it. "Are you turning 13 or 30, Hunt?" "Still such a child. I happen to know it looks fucking amazing, and I love it, but thanks for noticing." "Who can miss it? Actually, I think it suits you." "Really?" She waited for the insult that would surely follow. "Yeah," he told her truthfully. He thought that the edgy cut and color made her look hotter, especially paired with her red fuck-me heels. But he wasn't about to tell the irritating wench that. "I mean, they do say that if you have red hair, you're related to Satan. I always knew you aligned with the devil," he added. Did you die down there too? Can I call you Firecrotch now? I bet you did. Go on, give us a look. Flash the flaming lips." "Keep talking and I'll show you how far I can shove my new heels up your arse, prick." "I think you're the one who needs something up your ass. Maybe it would make you less of a bitch." "Wait, no, that would only happen if someone took that stick up your ass out first." "You're such a fuckhead." "Nah, I just love fucking with your head. You make it so easy." He pumped his hips towards hers, laughing. "Ugh, get the fuck away from me, freak." "And so it begins," Amy interrupted. "You promised, both of you. I know I won't get the whole weekend, but at least try for one night. or 1 bloody hour. Just give me something." Amy sighed and rubbed her hands over her face. This was tame for them, but she'd hoped they could have waited for more than 5 minutes before letting the insults fly. Gabby took a deep breath. "Sorry, Amy." "Yeah, sorry, Ames," Kristen added. It was as though they had regressed back into teenagers. "I'll give you two some space to catch up. If you need me, I'll be at the bar." Gabby leaned in and gave Amy a quick squeeze while narrowing her eyes at Christian before going to get the first of what she had planned to be many drinks. Christian watched Gabby's ass as she sashayed away from them. As annoying as she was, he always enjoyed watching her go. The party was going well, and everyone seemed to be having a great time. At some point, the DJ had started playing 90s music, and everyone had stampeded onto the dance floor when a well-known song came on. It stayed full for most of the night. Gabby had had a bit to drink, but not even the last Southern comfort could dull the ache her gorgeous shoes were causing. Before another song could come on, she made her way back to the table via the bar to rest her feet. Amy's purse and drink were still there, but the birthday girl was off dancing with Derek from her workplace, whom she had fancied for quite some time. She silently wished her best friend luck. Amy's last boyfriend got all creepy and obsessive after 2 months, hanging around outside her house at all hours, calling her and telling her he loved her at 4 a.m. every single morning. She ended up moving in with Gabby and changed her number. Gabby, on the other hand, went home early one night and walked in on her ex-boyfriend James, obviously drunk, and in bed with 2 other women. He was wielding a riding crop at the time and shouting, "Giddy up, big tits, giddy up." The unremorseful bastard only asked if she wanted to join in. She often thought back and wondered how he thought he could satisfy 3 women at once when he didn't have a clue how to satisfy the one he had. She also wondered if that was just her being bitter, as she would have stayed with him that long if it had all been bad. Either way, it didn't matter anymore. That night she packed up what she could, left a note explaining that someone would be over for the rest of her stuff. After a few nights on a friend's sofa, she rented a 2-bedroom flat in North London, which worked out perfectly as a few days later, Gabby needed a new place. They had shitty luck with men, but at least they had each other. Gabby hoped her best friend at least managed to have a birthday hookup with the guy she liked. She deserved to have a little fun. She watched as Derek reached in to push a lock of Amy's hair behind her ear. Amy gazed up at him and gave him a look that had Derek pulling her closer before they swayed together on the dance floor. She smiled. Gabby continued to survey the festivity-decorated room. It was only the 4th of December, but tinsels and sparkles were everywhere. A huge tree was propped up in one corner, and it had so many gold and silver baubles it looked as if it would topple over if anyone shimmed too close. Sipping her Southern comfort, she then took a huge mouthful from a glass of water. Wanting to get drunk but also needing to starve off a hangover was a delicate balance. She was in her 30s now, and the older she got, the worse they seemed to get. She looked out across the room and suddenly locked into a staring battle with a pair of intense green eyes. A shiver ran up her spine. Christian had been watching her from the bar. The man was an ass, but borrowing her grandmother's saying, the man was also a tall drink of water. Why are the hot ones always assholes? Why couldn't he be born mute? She muttered out loud. And glancing over, Gabby frowned, and then sighed when she saw Christian was making his way over to her with 2 glasses and a bottle. They had managed to avoid each other for most of the night, so she was puzzled as to why he was purposely seeking her out now. She watched as he placed the drinks on the table and dropped down into the empty seat beside her, his muscular frame making the chair creak in protest. Christian was huge, so even though he was still sitting down, he still towered over her. "Gabby," he greeted. "What do you want?" she groaned. Why did he always have to smell so good? See, this, among many other reasons, is exactly why I don't like you. You're so fucking hostile. Just apting to my environment. I must be a fucking arsehole then. Now you're getting it, she answered sweetly and gave him a cheeky wink. Christian slid a small glass her way. What's this? Arsenic? I wish, he told her dryly. It's bourbon. Let's do a shot. Thank you for listening to this portion.